Seasons and reasons for celebration. This week we're doing grief and grins. Can grief be celebratory? Hi, I'm Dr. K.P. McKee, founder and executive director of a Spacious Place Creativity and Spirituality Center. And as we walk through today's practice, we would love to hear from you. If you have any comments or questions or suggestions, you can enter them in your comment box on your mobile device or on your computer. Today we are thinking about two special days whose traditions are somewhat similar and intertwined. All Saints' Day and Dia de los Muertos. All Saints' Day is on November 1st. Dia de los Muertos is November 1st and 2nd. So let's think a little bit about All Saints' Day first. All Saints' Day is a Christian holiday that honors the Christians who have died and are now in heaven. And it's a time that's both solemn and sacred. It's usually honored with worship times where there are prayers said, naming of the dead who have passed, and often music for them as well. And the point of All Saints' Day, as far as I understand it, is to honor and remember the dead who have lived well. And it also reminds us of our mortality so that we can ask ourselves, what do we want to leave behind us when we go into the undiscovered country? And the second is Dia de los Muertos, which is a holiday that is largely a part of the Americas, but mainly centered in Mexico. And it is recognizes death as a part of the life cycle, and that the idea that the dead ones join their loved ones on this day. So there are altars in the homes and in the cemeteries where there are photos of the loved ones, favorite foods, and good memories are shared. And with Dia de los Muertos, you'll see all kinds of good foods and music, marigolds, calaveras, the sugar skulls that we're going to talk about in a little bit, and photos of the loved ones, and also skeletons, but skeletons dressed up for real good times, doing things that feel like a party to them. So it's a way to recognize that death is a part of the life cycle, and to remember the dead with love and gratitude and with joy. And of course, as an adult, this is the first time that I had heard about Dia de los Muertos. So I am coming into this as an outsider, and this is my perspective on it, and one that I would love to have informed by folks who have grown up in the culture there. So I just wanted to share with you a couple of resources that go with All Saints' Day and also Dia de los Muertos that might inform and enhance your honoring of these days, whether you choose solemn or joy or perhaps a combination of both. So for All Saints' Day, it is generally a worshipful kind of day. So there are requiem pieces. One of the most famous is Mozart's Requiem. And then I think also appropriate is Handel's Messiah. And for Dia de los Muertos, things that people have created, again, the Halloween Tree by Ray Bradbury, who has chapter 18 is about Dia de los Muertos and the history behind it. And then, of course, the movie Coco, which is set on the day and is filled with all of those images that I was talking about earlier. A warm, touching family story, one I can't ever watch without tears. So, and the art is just beautiful. So what about us? What might we want to create to honor these 2 days? For All Saints' Day, we can create a wall of remembrance. We do it on the back glass door of our home with glass markers, and we write the names of the persons whose lives we are grateful for, who have touched ours and inspired us, and who are now dead and are in the undiscovered country, maybe with some quotes from them or some words of affirmation for who they are and who they have been to us. And then another thing that we can do, and it's quite a simple thing, is to write a letter to a person who is deceased, whose life has had meaning for us, and thanks them for who they were. Think about why they are important in our lives and tell them that, and then perhaps make them a promise about how we want to live out our lives so that we can honor what they gave us. For Dia de los Muertos, we like to invite people to make the calaveras, the Mexican sugar skulls, and we're going to post a recipe for this on our site. We have a party where we do sugar skulls and pumpkin carving around this time of the year, and so we make these in advance. You want to make them in advance and give them a little time, a couple of days if possible, to dry. And they are made with sugar, water, and we love to use the meringue powder. That's really a necessity for that, and that'll be in the recipe. And you want to just mix it up in a huge bowl with your hands until it feels like sand by the ocean. And then we've discovered a few things, having done this for a few years. First of all kinds of decorating tools here and here, and then we like fun stuff like here's some eyeballs and some mustaches. You can buy these molds. We got them several years ago. I find them to be quite overpriced, but we have used them well for years, so I think they have probably lived into their the cost that we had. And you can order them online. You can also look and see if you can find them in stores. So once you have made your sugar skull, we've discovered that bowls work really nicely for this, and that you want to first decorate the face before you're going to make royal icing, again with your meringue powder, before you put the back of the skull on and put it all together. And then you can transport it wherever you need to take it in these bowls. That works really well. And we have a picture of one that David has done that we'll put up. So the folks who come and do this with us always have a blast and create the most amazing creative things. And if you look online under calaveras, you'll see all kinds of ideas for decorations. The skulls are often about things that are loved or beautiful or powerful that they put on the skulls. And then the second thing is papel picado, pierced paper. And I just want to kind of walk you through one way to do this. Obviously, there's lots of ways to do this. This has worked well for us with the people we work with. And I found ideas online on YouTube, and you will be able to find a whole lot too. So I'm just going to move my calaveras over here and show you how to get started. So this makes a really big papel picado, and you have probably seen these beautiful pierced papers. They're featured in Coco. And the first thing you want to do is you want to fold down the top and give that a good crease. And then fold in half. You want to be precise with this because you're going to need that when we get to the next step. And in half, you can actually, there's no wrong way to fold. As long as you're being precise, you can fold it as many times as you like. It depends on how intricate you would like your finished piece to be. Well, I'm going to stop there. And then if you have some of those fun scissors that cut interesting designs, you can do a little cut across the bottom to finish it off and get it all prepped for folks to then work with. I have one here that I have already prepared that I'm going to show you the next steps on because I think you can see it a little bit better. So here's my top where I folded it down, and here's the bottom where I cut with the designs. Now we made these for our folks, and so what you want to be thinking about half shapes because we're going to be laying them out on folds so that when they open them up they'll be the full shape. And you can do this with marker, but it will show up with the marker. So if you can use a pencil and just kind of do it lightly, that works best. If your tissue paper is darker, you might want to get a colored pencil that's a light color. So here I have a 4-point star. Here's half of a Valentine. We always encourage our people to put about 3 fingers between them and the one above or below the shape that they've done, so that they don't end up cutting through 2 shapes. Another thing that we do is I draw a line to show them where they line up on the fold, so that they're clear about where that is going to be. And we'll be happy to share any instructions we have about how we put this together if you want to do this with a group. So that was a star. I have a diamond here. Again, we're thinking in halves. And once they get these basic shapes down, you can also do your own thing then and just go rogue and add whatever shapes you want. And then I have half an oval here. And again, I'm using my purple line to remind me where I want to line up. And they can do both sides as well. They can do some here on this side too. You just do a couple, just so you get a sense. And of course it's going to be not full on every side because some of the sides are open. Let's see, maybe, let's see, that was a heart. I'll do another one here. All right. Then we get our scissors and we cut through all the layers of tissue paper. Wonderful thing about creating is that it slows us down and focuses us. One of the many wonderful things about it. Once we have finished that, then I like to say this is where the magic happens, because then we begin to carefully and gently open. And with children, that is something I try to emphasize, because it's so exciting and you want to see how it's turned out, and the paper is so fragile. So the anticipation is part of the joy. All right, so here, like I said, they can add other pieces in here if they want. Now the last part with this is we want to hang it. So we're going to open up that flap we made in the top, and we have 2 choices here. We can use glue stick. Glue stick is great for making sure that we don't have any puckers. It's also harder to use on fragile, thin paper. So if someone is new to this, they might want to start with using tape and just use more tape. But if you're going to use the glue stick, you're just going to run a line of glue under this top edge. And then you want to take some string, and you want enough extra so that it can hang. Put it in the crease that you made when you made your first fold. And gently place that down and press. And now we have a really large papel picado, and it's beautiful when you have a whole string of them going across to decorate. So if you have found this helpful, we hope you'll like it on Facebook, and also you can rewatch on Facebook, on YouTube, or on our website, www.aspaciousplace.com. And we'll be coming back next week with, the week after next, November the 7th, with another Seasons and Reasons for Celebration. One last thing I wanted to tell you about before we go is in November, our Gifted to Give Roadshow starts, where we come to you with 6 projects that you can create for holiday gifts for families and friends for a total cost of $15. And you can sign up for the remaining time and date slots on our website, www.aspaciousplace.com. And as long as you have at least 5 people participating, we will come to you. Well, let's close with prayer. For those who have lived and who live on in our memories, we give thanks. For those who went before us into the undiscovered country, we give thanks, we remember, and we celebrate their lives with full, grateful hearts. Amen.